Does it make sense?
Welcome back to the Mountain Morning Show here on Park City Television. I am joined by Martin Varsavsky. Did I get it? Thank you so much. The CEO and founder of Prelude. Good morning, Martin. Thank you for being here. Now, you were down for the American Society of Reproductive Medicine conference in Salt Lake, representing an exciting new company that we have an exclusive, was just announced this morning.
And
tell us a little bit about, I know this is your first interview, so we're thrilled that you chose Park City Television. Now, Prelude really focuses on women's infertility, or should I say families' infertility.
We help people have healthy babies when they're ready, which is right now the difficult time is the 30s and 40s. When people had babies in their 20s, they had basically no problem or very few problems. But now, when you ask people under 30 how many babies they'd like to have, they say 3. And then when you look at what happened when they're 45, 20% had no children, and another 21% only had 1. So 40% of people never achieve their maternity and paternity goals, and we're here to help on that.
And I think, too, it's important to note that when you ask people under 30, they may give you a larger number, and then life sort of gets in the way. That between careers or waiting to meet the right person, people are choosing to have children later and later.
Yeah, also, you can say maybe they wanted 3, and then they changed their mind. That could be, but very few people set out to want none or 1, and only 4% of people, and that number's been constant for 30 years, say they never want children, which means the majority of children who have none or 1 wanted children. And so what we're offering, so we just raised $200 million to start this company.
$200 million?
Yes, $200 million.
So there's clearly a need, there's some enthusiasm about what you're bringing to the table here.
Well, it's a capital-intensive, let's say, business, because you have to create this new type of fertility clinics, where we're basically transforming the infertility industry, where people go when they're infertile, into the fertility industry, where people will go to these clinics when they're fertile. So the method is basically that you freeze your gametes, meaning sperm and eggs, when you're fertile, and you keep them, so you can use them for when you're ready. So instead of waiting to be infertile to try to have a child and fail, when you're ready, you use the gametes that you froze maybe 5-10 years before.
So talk to us just a little bit about the change from, say, a woman in her mid-20s, maybe early 30s. That is her prime fertility, and then what sort of happens as the years go on?
Well, what happens is that human biology and human psychology have parted ways. Before, people used to have children when their biology made them to have children. Like the baby boomers had 3 children by the time they were 35. And now the most common number at 35 of a woman is 1, right? So we've gone separate ways with our biology. And so when we're really fertile, we don't have the children. And when we want to, we're not fertile, right? That's
so sort of a catch-22 with the child.
And so what we say is, when you're fertile, save your eggs and save your sperm. When you're fertile, just save it, and then you use it. You make embryos, and then you get the embryos implanted, and then you get pregnant. But you get pregnant, you may be 38. But your every health risk will be the health risk of a 28-year-old, because you save your eggs when you were 28. And then also we do genetic sequencing of embryos, and we do a number of things to make sure that the embryos are healthy. Right now, what people do is amnios or NIPTs, and they actually, in many cases, do abortions because something bad is coming to their child. Yes, a chromosomal abnormality, a congenital illness is discovered in the 4th month of pregnancy. We believe that it's much better to avoid this type of abortions and to have a healthy embryo. So you can get pregnant, and in 2 weeks you're telling your friends, I'm expecting, and you're not worried. Like, nobody tells anybody they're pregnant because of miscarriages, because of risk of abortion. And with Prelude, you can share the news early on.
Because you have more of a guarantee of health, like a younger embryo would be. So talk to me just a little bit about the difference between, say, a 25, 26-year-old embryo, when people save it there, versus somebody who waits and says, okay, I'm ready to have children at 40.
Well, some people are successful at having children at 40, but at 40, I would say that probably half of the people who try to start a family having sex fail. At 25, I would say 95% of people who try to have a family having sex succeed. And so between 25 and 40, there's a loss in fertility. But not only that, the chances of having illnesses at 40 are much greater. So not only are you facing problems of infertility, and at 45, I would say nobody can have a child. So between 40 and 45 is the end, but maybe between 35 and 45. But also the chances of having a healthy baby decrease. And when people say, I would like to have a child, what they dream of is a healthy child.
A healthy child.
Right?
Yeah, absolutely. I know. I've got 2 little ones, and I never understood that. I always said, well, I'd want a boy and this color hair and want this to be perfect. Once you're actually pregnant, it's just, I want them to be healthy. That's the only thing that really matters.
I wanted to clarify that's important. We're not about making designer babies, right? We're not
Perfect.
we don't
Thank
help
you.
We don't help you have a better looking child or a smarter child. There's maybe 1,000 catalog illnesses that you can test for, and we help you that your child maybe doesn't have cystic fibrosis or thalassemia or Gaucher or Tay-Sachs, or I can give you many illnesses that we can avoid. So we're basically about avoiding illnesses and having healthy children, but not designer babies.
Good. So a $200 million grant. You just had an article published in Forbes, is that correct? That's wildly exciting. Now, there's obviously a huge market for people who are watching and thinking, you're speaking right to me. This is something I'm concerned about. What is the process of Prelude? What is
they go to preludefertility.com and they sign up. And then it depends on where they are in the States. People who watch you here locally, the way they would start is they would go to a local clinic, and we're making an affiliation network of local clinics, and they would start a stimulation process to get eggs, to get a lot of eggs. Women would do that, and then they would, the eggs would be retrieved. I mean, my 2 younger children, and I have one coming, were born with the Prelude method, so I have first-hand experience of
Martin
what it is.
is awaiting his 7th.
Yeah,
his seventh addition to his
child,
family. So
yes.
you speak from experience.
I love having children. My wife does too. The last one was more her decision than mine. We had frozen eggs and sperm, and she said we have to use them. You know?
Lucky number 7.
So we have lucky 7. In fact, that's funny because we call him 7 so far. It's a boy.
Okay.
And I don't know if the name will stick, but now we say, how is 7 doing?
Aww.
And so what we did, which is what we're saying other people should do. My wife is 37 now. When she was 31, she went ahead and froze her eggs. And so it just gives you flexibility. You know, it's in the end it's the same. You get pregnant, you expect, but then when your child says, it's funny because the other day our 5-year-old asked how are babies made, right?
Daddy has a very different answer than a lot.
and I said, look, you're too young. I'll tell you when you're older. But it was funny because my friends would think that when she's older we'll have the sex talk, but we won't. We'll have the lab talk.
We'll have a lab talk, a Prelude lab talk. So you're going to have a very educated young child.
Yes.
Well, this is unbelievably innovative work, and I think you're going to help a lot of families. And it's really just it's like an insurance policy. It's giving yourself sort of a safety net for later in life.
It's an insurance policy. You said it, because it's not that we say you then can go ahead and have babies having sex. What we say is that if you greatly want to increase your chances, to have both possibilities makes you ahead in life. And also people divorce, and men in their 40s have children at 300% the rate of women in their 40s. So this is about gender equality, bringing the same opportunities to men and women. I mean, so far I'm the father of 3 boys and 3 girls, and I want them to do equally well. So yeah, it's about insurance, it's about gender equality, it's about health, because when people have babies this way, there's much less chance that they will be subject to certain illnesses, which when people say healthcare costs are out of control, how are we going to control healthcare costs? Doctors should make less money, nurses should make less money, or somebody should make less money. we don't think so. In fact, the chance here is that you just don't get sick. That's how you control healthcare costs.
You take care of yourself.
And some of the illnesses that are congenital, they may cost $10 million a child, $20 million a child. So this lowers healthcare costs by making people not ill.
That's brilliant. Well, you are helping people have healthy children when they are ready, and I think that's a pretty wonderful organization to be a part of. So we wish you luck. I don't think you'll need it. Congratulations on today's exciting announcement. This will be fantastic. If you want to learn more about Prelude, be sure you go online and look at the amazing work he is doing in the fertility field. This is the Mountain Morning Show right here on Park City Television.